Right, here is a little look at the stereo. This part of the video won't be like a full sort of review of it or anything. It works very well, I'm very happy with it. But there's just one issue, and it's not an issue with the radio itself, it's just me being fussy. But the Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, they work through a USB cable, which is fair enough. But the only thing is, the USB is literally just a lead which is shoved in the glove box just here, as you can see. What I've done is I've bored a hole in the side of the glove box for the lead to come through, and yeah, it works, but it's messy. I don't really like this sort of thing, if that makes sense, just cables lying around. So what I've done is I have been to the scrapyard and I have got a auxiliary socket and USB out of a Vauxhall. And for those in the States, you get these out of Buicks and Chevrolets and various other GM products over there. Opel in Europe, Chevrolet there as well. UK Vauxhall, and also we get Chevys here as well, or we did, I don't know if we still do. But yeah, this is it, as you can see. It is a socket media interface. I don't know what you'd want to call it, but it is what it is. And yeah, what you do is you fit this into the glove box. So I'm going to have to cut the hole out with a file and make this fit in, which is not a big issue to do. I've done this with my other car as well, my other non-Volvo product. And yeah, cut a square hole out for this to go into. As you can see, it's just got tabs on the side there, so it just pushes in. I then need to put a 3.5mm jack onto these wires here, as you can see there. So that is basically audio in from the jack. Luckily I did remember to cut the wires, so yes, that's done. And then the USB cable just plugs into the back of the factory stereo. There we go, it's just a standard USB. So yeah, that's all that's really needed. I will make a video showing how that was done, or doing it or whatever. I'll just shove it into this video as well, to be fair. You've possibly already seen a look at this stereo, because yeah, this is all going to be part of one big video. So yeah, I just thought I would cover that bit at the moment. So now what I'm doing is I've got a auxiliary lead, which is a 3.5mm jack. That'll go into the back of the stereo, and cut the plug off of it, stripping the wires. There's 4 there, and on the back of this there's also 4. So I just need to work out which one does which channel I should say, and get them connected. So what I'm going to do is just strip the ends off these cables, them as well, randomly connect 2 together, and then put an auxiliary cable into this. So then it's basically a loop, if that makes sense, that goes from here through and out, and then just use a multimeter, and hopefully the pins on this here will match the other end, if that makes sense. So yeah, just making sure everything's in polarity. Right, so that is everything connected. That blue wire was not actually needed, that was for the sense. So when you plug the auxiliary socket in, it switches the standard radio over onto auxiliary mode. But yeah, all the connectors are now soldered together. Just need to put some tape around them and then insulate everything. There you go. And that plugs into the back of the stereo. So there we go. Sorted. Right, you join me in my V70 where I'm about to violently hack my dashboard to bits. Okay, that's a lie, I'm not actually doing that. No, what I now need to do is trim, well I say trim, make a hole in the glove box insert, I guess you'd call it. Well, let's go outside, that'll be a bit easier to see. Right, so that is the glove box just here, as you can possibly tell, the insert bit. And what I'd originally done is put a hole in the side just there where the auxiliary cable went through. And then, well, now what I need to do is fit this in. So I've made my wiring up, as you saw, and it is now, in fact I didn't show you this bit, it is now all in place. We've got these coming out the back of the stereo, so we've got the USB and the 3.5mm jack there. Now those are connected through the cable that I made into the back of the radio. So yeah, no wires or anything are being cut, it's just, this is literally something I made up out of some cables. But what I now need to do is fit this into here, and I was originally going to fit it in that hole because it's there and I made it for the cable, but unfortunately I didn't realise, but that hole is right up against the motor in here, that stepper motor for the HVAC system. So I guess that motor moves when you move that. So yeah, that was a bit of an annoyance. So what I need to do now is make a new hole, put like a rubber bung or something in the other one, and make a new hole which will be lined up with this sort of orifice there where there's plenty of space. As you can see in here, that is the back of the stereo. I love these Volvos because there's just so much room. Like, none of the cables are scrunched up. That's the back of the HVAC control there. There's the radio underneath. There's a big amount of space in here. Cables are happy. That red light you can see there. There you go. That is a DAB to FM converter, cable three-way thing. So long story short is it means I can use the digital radio off the rear, there you go, the rear aerial in the glass, and I think the one on the other side over there is used as well. But yeah, this one and the other side basically work as a digital aerial as well as an analog aerial for FM and DAB. And for those in the States who don't know what DAB is, it's basically, in the UK and I think Europe, our version of XM radio. So yeah, that is that. And now I just need to cut a new hole. Right, there we go. We have a hole in the side of the glove box, a second hole. That hole I need to get rid of. Yeah, good old power file. That's all I really used, and a Christmas tree or step drill, whatever you want to call them, to make a hole big enough to get said power file in. But yeah, now the power socket thingy, auxiliary in thing, can go in here like that, as you can see. There we go. So yeah, now this can actually get put into the car. Now, the good thing about these sockets is you can take them out from the front, and what I mean by that is they do lever out quite easily. You don't need to actually get into the back to get them out. And the reason I say this is because I know for a fact the way these things fit in, they're a bit of a pain to go in like normally, but with this in place it will definitely not fit. This will just hit on the side of the dashboard. What I mean is when you're trying to put it in, the side bit will just catch on here. So luckily, as I say, you can, if you cut the hole correctly, which I actually did, surprisingly, this, you can actually pop these out from the inside. You don't need to get to the back of them to push these clips down because they actually just slide out quite easily. So yeah, what I need to do is put this in, pull the cable through, and then this goes in after this has been screwed in place, if that makes sense. So yeah, I'm gonna find a rubber grommet to shove in that, and then put this back in. Okay, for what it's worth, there is now a grommet in place, which, as you can see, I've put a bit of hot glue around just so it doesn't get knocked out. Hang on, put the light on, there we go, side there. So yeah, that's holes filled, covered now. That one there is for the auxiliary thingy, and now I can get it all put back in the car and go home because I'm pretty tired. And we're now finished. There it is, just in at the side, right there. And yeah, plugs into the stereo. Can now have my Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, whatever you want, plugged in there. As you can see on the stereo here, I've got Apple CarPlay, Android Auto there, and yes, I know there's nothing connected, auxiliary just there, and also mirroring for putting your phone screen on, I guess, but yeah, I never usually bother with that. It does work, but it's kind of pointless in my opinion. But yeah, all works. Neat, and yeah, it just saves having a cable just coming out of here and just sitting in the glove box, you know. I can just plug my USB cable in, which is this one here, for the well, for my phone, which is Android. Before, what happened is I had this cable here, which came with the stereo. It's a very chunky one. That was plugged into the back, and then that was just dangling around in the glove box, just curled up in there, and yeah, it just annoyed me. So got this, and now yeah, I can actually have things neat and not worry about stuff getting tangled or broken.